But I want to ask you, Bill, what made you engage with the issue of climate change in the first instance? Was there a trigger moment, a news headline, some personal experience that drove you in this direction?
Well, I like reading about science and understanding weather and all sorts of things, but it really was my work in Africa for the Gates Foundation, where we work on nutrition and health, for the entire world. But what we were seeing was that the climate was already making farming near the equator far more difficult. And I decided I better learn about that because, if you're going to uplift every country in the world, understanding is climate going to hold that back and force us to do the whole economy in a different way. I felt I needed to know that. And so, I spent about 10 years starting in the year 2000 learning about that, and actually gave a TED Talk in 2010 where I warned that that is a huge problem that we're not doing the right things for.
But from that period, when you first got engaged with the issue of climate change, has the thinking evolved, changed in terms of the scale, the immediacy, the urgency in a way of climate change? Has your thinking in a way deepened as you read more about it, or as you witness around you, as we all are, these extreme climate events?
Yes, so the awareness that we've got a huge problem that'll get worse over time is much higher today than at any time in the past. A big milestone was in 2015, the Paris climate talks, where I and Prime Minister Modi, President Obama, and 30 others, we put the idea of innovation on the agenda. It was called Mission Innovation, and the idea was to get the R&D budgets of all these countries to go up, and I committed to do what's called breakthrough energy, where we would take the ideas and make sure that great companies were funded to turn those ideas into products to avoid climate change. So we have so much more to do. This is such a hard problem, but we're better off. The awareness, the government thinking about this, we've come a long way since 2015.
If you had to convince the naysayers, because there will be always naysayers about the climate emergency, are there 3 top facts or anecdotes that stand out for you that you would choose to communicate simply and effectively to tell people, look, we can't wait for tomorrow. This is a crisis of today?
Yeah, with climate, there is no quick solution like inventing a vaccine. The pandemic, of course, has been an incredible tragedy, but we will see the end of it because of the vaccines. Climate change, you have to start the work to stop the emissions now to avoid disaster later, because the scale is so big and the number of areas of activities that create these emissions are so broad that there is no, in a year, 2 years, come up with a solution. So the pandemic is much harder, but it's good. People, I hate to say it, but the climate negative effects now are alerting people to this, and particularly for countries near the equator, that includes India, the effects over the course of the century will be very dramatic. The ability to work outside in the summer, the crop productivity, the weather systems, it will be dramatically different if we don't act in a huge way.